I am your host, FatDag. You're listening to WhysAdvice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at FatDag.com. Follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at WhysAdvice. Send in your comments, your questions, your celebrations, and I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, here we are, 100 episodes in the books, and I just received the most amazing tribute in my inbox. I'm going to release that as a separate audio. It'll be called Bonus Episode 100. You need to go hear it. Press pause right now. Go dig through the app, wherever you find it. Look for episode 100B. Some amazing people wrote in and gave some amazing testimony about this journey, and just reconfirms that we're all in this journey together. The journey is so similar for us all. Special shout out to Kirby for putting it all together. Dude, absolutely is amazing. Made my day. So Kirby, thank you absolutely for that. I just cannot thank you enough. But I want to open the show with an email I got today, as a matter of fact, from Bryan. And this is really interesting, folks. Bryan says, Mike, tonight was the first time I've been able to tune in live on Facebook. Unfortunately, I tuned in after the letters. Even though I tuned in late, I came away inspired by the discussion. I live for being moved. After the show, you and I tweeted a few times, and I shared the Simon Sinek video. Then we connected. I love finding and connecting with people that inspire and spark a fire within me to rise above and become more than I currently am. I went on Facebook to take in the entire program and to be lifted up by your wise advice. Little did I know that during episode 99, you read a letter from someone that inspires me more than anyone else. Well, see, I am the dad of Megan. Imagine my surprise while listening and hearing the exact same journey I have been on for the last 5 or 6 years. I actually had to rewind the episode to make sure I was hearing what I was hearing. You were talking about me. It's been a rough journey. I have one of the most amazing daughters that anyone could ever ask for. She is absolutely my best friend, along with my wife, 2 sons, and Megan's adorable twin boys. She inspires me every single day and has for the most of her life, and if I recommend one person to the rest of the world should meet, it would be Megan. She is genuine, honest, sincere, hard-working, driven, laser-focused on doing and becoming the best that she could be. I could go on for the rest of your show about how amazing she is. If you ever had a live guest on your show, she would be the person to have. She is down 45 pounds now and has inspired her husband, who was down 30 pounds, and they both look amazing. She has inspired me to take control of my journey by tracking through Weight Watchers. I'm coming into my second full week of Weight Watchers, take 2. At this point, my success is that I'm down 2.6 pounds. Having a team like Megan, my wife, you, everyone on Connect, the people that attend the weekly meetings that I go to, including Kathy from episode number 62, my parents, and my son surround me to hold me up and keep me going, make this journey a blast. I am very blessed to be surrounded by such inspiring and uplifting people. You all are what makes this weight loss journey so doable and fun. Even though I got a little sideways in my journey, Megan and all the others mentioned above had led me to keep moving and to remain focused. They are my why. I don't believe it was coincidental that I was able to listen tonight. Looking back at the events over the last few hours, it was much more than coincidence. Thank you for all you do, for moving me and lifting me up more than I am. Thank you for reading Megan's letter at a time when I needed to hear it. I look forward to the rest of my journey, and I can't wait to report the progress I've made 6 months from now. Kindest regards, Bryan. Bryan, welcome to the team here. Welcome to be a wingman. Thank you for being my wingman. I'm honored to be your wingman. Your daughter was amazing. She wrote in on episode 99. And I just, it's been a while, so I've had her email in my inbox, and I wanted to make sure it got out. And I just had to work it into the show. And you're right, it's not a coincidence. Everything aligned for you to hear it. Had I played it a month ago, you would have missed it. There's a plan for that. And so the fact that you were able to tune in and, it had to be kind of interesting to hear a story that was your story. I can only imagine your surprise when that happened. And just like you said, we did connect on Twitter, but when you were tweeting me last night, I didn't know who you were in that regard. I had no idea that episode was about you. So that was actually pretty cool as well. So you are very blessed, my friend. You have an amazing family. That's an amazing why. You don't need to dig much deeper than that. You understand exactly what's at stake here. You understand everything that you need to do. You have the gift of knowing that you can get there. That's a lot. That's a gift many of us don't have when we start this journey, but you've actually been here before, sir. So the beautiful part is you know exactly that where you're headed, and you can get there. And the amazing support that you have will get you there. So Bryan, I don't have much more to say to you other than, I believe in you. Your daughter believes in you. Connect believes in you. And you believe in you. And that is what's going to carry you to goal. So thanks for your email to open the show, episode 100. Before the show started, I put out on Facebook and I said, hey, what do you want the show to be about? So I got a handful of comments. I want to kind of read through those quickly, and then we'll move on to 2. Denise writes in, says, hey, Mike, I'm an offender of not practicing what I preach. I know so much about nutrition. I could probably school a nutritionist, but following what I know is another story. Do you find yourself with the same issue? And what are some tips on getting past the self-sabotage? Denise, yeah, I completely agree with you. I know what to do in this journey, and I know why I'm doing it. And there are still days that I don't do it properly. But what I've now focused on is the total journey. I understand I have some limits in place. I understand the overall journey, and I understand that the journey has bumps in the road. So I accept those as part of the journey. So what I understand is that you want to get as many blue dots as possible, knowing that some days you're not going to. I understand that you want to work out every single day, except for some days you're just not going to. I understand that you want to do your best, except for some days your best is just completely different. So all of that becomes the journey, and I've set limits in place to make sure that I don't go too far off of them. So yeah, I can school a nutritionist as well. But that doesn't mean we know how to do it. It doesn't mean we can follow our own advice sometimes, but my advice is to just never quit. And that's the advice that I can stick with forever. Yakob from Facebook says, the struggles of keeping the weight off. So many of us rebound. How do you do it? It's the same thing. And so yeah, when we get to goal, that we have to worry about complacency. Complacency sets in. I have set limits. There are limits in my journey that I am not willing to compromise on. I may compromise on some of them, but some of them are absolutely not, and I am not buying a bigger pair of pants, period. So if the weight continues to climb on me, if it grows up, you'll know, because I'll probably be on TV for it. I am not buying bigger clothes. It's limits I've set in place because I understand how wonderful it feels at this size and this goal. So that's how I would answer that. Kelly says, I appreciate, how do you appreciate your journey and the things that we've learned along the way? Kelly, you have to really focus in on the changes you've made. I try to stay focused on, all of the things that I can do now that I wasn't able to do before. And you have to kind of write them down at times if you can't remember them. But there are things that I'm doing now that, running a mile and a half in 11 minutes, something I've never done in my life. So that is one of those things that I just remember. And the only way I can do that is to stay at goal. Lisa says, I know stopping a binge before it starts is ideal, but I'm exploring ideas for how to help people stop after it starts before it spirals out of control. Comments and perspective are welcome. Lisa, I think the true definition of a binge is that you just don't have any control over it. So if we have the ability to stop a binge as it's happening, then we also have the ability to prevent it. A lot of times, though, that binge is just going to happen. So I imply what I've now kind of called the rule of thirds. I take my daily points and I divide it by 3. If I binge for breakfast and I use the rest of my day, I'd say 2/3 of my day has to finish the day. And I just stay on plan at the very next meal. If I binge for lunch, then I have 1/3 of my daily points allowed for dinner. Because after the binge, I have some time to regroup before the next meal. And so I use the rule of thirds to divide them by 3. And depending on where I binge, that's how many points I get left for the day, because I want to reset at the very next meal. That ties it, closer to the binge and allows me to then refocus quicker rather than going to bed and having to sleep on it. So that's how I'd answer that one for you, Lisa. Steven says, I want you to talk about eating your weeklies, of course. Yeah, Steven, for sure. I'm a big fan of eating your weeklies. That's why they're there. I don't eat them just to eat them. I eat them when I'm hungry. I use them as overdraft protection. But I absolutely think eating your weeklies is part of the plan, and that's what helps get you to goal. Maryann says, hey, falling off the program, how do you get the edge back? Maryann, why do you want it? How did you get to the point where you walked in the Weight Watcher room for the very first time? How did you sign up online? I always say you should have written down why you started this process. And at that point, when you fall off track, you need to go read it, because it's going to be true again and again and again. And until you solve it, it'll always be there. Deniella says, I've lost 35 pounds. I've been feeling great, wearing smaller sizes, exercising, getting blue dots. Someone posted a candid shot of me on Facebook, and all I could think was how much further I have to go. How do you not let up on the gas when you feel discouraged? Deniella, I've experienced that same thing. People put photos on you on Facebook and you cringe. That doesn't happen to me now. So how I would encourage you is when you see that, use that as motivation to say, you know what, that's great. That's the worst I'm ever going to look. From the next time that happens, it's going to look better. The next time that happens, it's going to look better. And at some point, I'm going to love it. So you use that as fuel rather than discouragement. And you understand the folks who tag you on Facebook love you and enjoy hanging out with you in a friendship mode. And you need to celebrate that. And you need to get to a healthy place so that you can continue to hang out with them and be tagged left and right. Last up, Janet says, how do you motivate your family members without sounding like you're criticizing them? For example, your family member is eating a brownie and you know they shouldn't be eating it, and they know that too. You mention to them thinking, I'm really trying to encourage them to eat better, while the family member is saying in their minds, screw you, I'm going to eat 2 of these brownies just to spite you. Janet, the number one way you can do that is just by modeling good behavior. We can't tell someone something they're not ready to hear. So what you have to do is you have to model the good behavior and then show them all the amazing things that you can do now, that, having control of your food does. And at some point they will enjoy looking at your journey and they will want to be on that journey with you. A little bit of jealousy will top in and they'll say, I want that too. And that's when you say, well, I just don't do brownies anymore because they don't fit into my plan. So very, very cool. Next email up. Jen writes in, says, hello, Mike. I've been following your progress on Connect for a while now, and I find both your progress and the podcast extremely motivating. Thank you so much for giving back to this community that's helped you as much as it has. I decided to send my story to you because who knows who it would help out there. I mean, you probably had no idea how many people you were going to inspire. Well, I started my journey with Weight Watchers July 3rd, 2011, after having a huge mental breakdown and a sob fest from seeing photos of myself pop up on Facebook. I barely recognized myself, and I was thoroughly disgusted with the person that I saw. These horrible feelings, coupled with the fact that I was going to get married in a year and a half, propelled me to attend my first meeting. 8 months later, I was starting to see some great progress, but my fiance pulled the carpet out from under my feet and let me know he was leaving me for another girl. At that time, I was completely devastated and I didn't know what I was going to do. I felt rejected, dejected, and completely awful. How could I ever find someone to love me if he couldn't? But I realized something as I kept attending meetings and I kept following the plan. This wasn't about him anymore. It wasn't about looking good in a white dress for someone who didn't want to be with me. It was about me now, my happiness, my perseverance, my love for my body. Learning to love myself was the push that I needed. I ended up losing 50 pounds. I hit Lifetime exactly a year after my start date. Standing in front of the room, of clapping, cheering members, one of the proudest moments of my life. Fast forward to now, I'm in an amazing relationship with a perfect guy for me, and I'm celebrating my 6th anniversary with Weight Watchers. I have seen plenty of ups and downs, though right now I'm 10 pounds heavier than my goal weight, and I decided to restart monthly passes versus doing the lifetime over 2 pounds. Boy, can that add up fast. I can't seem to get myself to stay focused, but I recently realized one of my problems was my fight with perfectionism. It is impossible to always do everything perfect. But when I didn't get a blue dot, the thoughts in my head were extremely cruel and really reminiscent of the thoughts I had right after my ex left. You're ugly. You're fat. You're stupid. You will never, ever succeed. Eesh, that's awful. I would never, ever say that to anyone who was struggling. Why am I so quick to say it to myself? Now I'm finding the love for myself that I deserve, but not really looking at the journey tab. And by writing a list of 10 things I did right the previous day when I wake up in the morning, so far I'm feeling much better and much more capable. Well, if you've made it this far, thanks for reading this novel. This really is a hard journey, and doing it alone would be worse. I'm glad that we can all have a wingman like you. Take care, Jen. Jen, you have hit on something here that a lot of us struggle with. And it's that perfectionism piece. And, I say it every time I hand someone a 10% charm, or I hand them a 25-pound charm, or they reach goal. The one question I always ask is, were you perfect up to this point? One time someone said yes, but all the other times, the answer has been no. And so I ask you, when you get to the point you ended up losing 50 pounds, did you do it perfectly? No, but you still lost 50 pounds. When you reached 10%, did you do it perfectly? No, but you still hit 10%. Right. So that's why I say very firmly, if you hit 10%, you can hit goal. If you lost 50 pounds, you can hit goal, because it's very difficult to have gotten to 10% and be perfect. But what you've done is you've understood the bigger part of this journey, and that is the not giving up piece. So you're absolutely right. You can't be perfect on the plan. And when you understand that and you forgive yourself, it quickly allows you to restart the very next day. And the words that you've said to yourself, you're right, they're absolutely cruel. They're nothing you would ever say to another friend. So why would you say them to yourself? The fact that you're in this journey for your life, you found the most amazing man, that was by absolutely on purpose. And so you have him and you're working this journey for you. You can get it done, Jen. You know how to do it. Thank you so much for your email. It's an honor to walk this journey with you and celebrate. So thank you. Next up is Mark. Mark writes in and says, "Hi, Mike. I wanted to write in and let you know what a great job you're doing with the podcast. I listen to it as I do my morning walks, and a lot of what you talk about has really resonated with me. I have followed you on Connect for quite some time, and your story was one that I really connected with. Excuse the pun. Because we started at a similar starting weight. I saw what guys like you and Derek accomplished, and I said, well, if these guys can do it, I can do it too. I am a guy who has tried every diet in the book, all with minimal success. It seems like I have been on a diet for the past 20 years. It's always been the same. I do well for a few weeks, and then something would come up and the diet would go out the window. After blowing it, I would promise myself that I will start again on Monday, or next week, or January 1st. Every time I started back up, it was at a higher starting weight than the last time. Before I knew it, I was 272 pounds. That number blew my mind. I saw myself in pictures and I couldn't believe how out of control I had let my weight get. It got to the point where I hated taking pictures with my family, and I would try to avoid it at all costs. I knew I had to do something, and in October, I decided to join Weight Watchers for about the 10th time. This time, I decided that I wasn't going to wait until January 1st. I trudged along through the holidays and lost a few pounds, but then something clicked. I found Connect. As I started to read all the posts from people like you, and I realized that, you know what, maybe I could actually get this done. I started aiming for the daily blue dots and I walked like crazy. My wife was calling me Forrest Gump because I would enter these Fitbit competitions that was regularly getting close to 20,000 steps in a day. I found my groove, and although I wasn't perfect when it came to the tracking, by May I had lost 40 pounds. I won my weight loss competition at work, and everybody was complimenting on how great I looked. Clothes that I hadn't worn in years were loose on me, and I felt great. But at 232 pounds, I was still not even close to my goal weight of 190 pounds. I was determined to keep it going. I kept walking daily, but I let myself get a little lax with the tracker. I got hit with the complacency trap in a big way. As a teacher, I am on summer break and I don't have the same structure and routine that I have during the school year. There are a ton more obstacles to contend with as well, like barbecues, going out to dinner, and rounds of golf that all lead to more food and more cocktails. It always seems like there's a reason to party. These are the things I have struggled with in the past. When I was really rocking the plan en route to losing the weight this winter, I was able to work in the cocktails or the out to dinner nights and still have success. As the summer got going and the complacency bug bit me, I have not tracked as much at all. These pitfalls have led to the scale going in the wrong direction ever so slightly. I haven't completely fallen off the wagon, but I feel like I'm hanging onto it by a thread. I still have a month and a half left of summer vacation, 2 trips planned, and countless other obstacles to overcome. My wife keeps gently reminding me of how far I've come and warning me not to slip back into my old habits. She is very supportive, but I know that I am the only one who can right this ship. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You are my only hope. Thanks for all you do, Mark. And then Mark goes on with a second email. Says, Mike, when I emailed you yesterday, I forgot to mention that I'm Coach J555 on Connect. You have responded to a few of my posts, although I do not post very often. Thanks again for everything you do. But I know I can do this. I just need to refocus and remember my why. Even though you say it all the time, I never actually stopped and thought about my why that I want to do this. I have 3 young children. Lily, 8, Mia, 5, Tommy, 2. I want to be around for them for a long time to come. This is reason number 1. Reason number 2 is I'm tired. I'm tired of hiding from pictures. I'm tired of seeing pictures of myself. I'm tired of feeling embarrassed. I'm tired of my clothes not fitting. I'm tired of being winded walking up a flight of stairs. I'm tired of my family and my friends, especially my mom, rolling her eyes when I tell them that I'm on a diet again. I'm tired of being out of control on what I eat and drink. These past 6 months on Weight Watchers was the first time I actually did it. I lost 40 pounds and people were like, whoa, great job. I'm so proud of you. You look great. It was such a good feeling, but in the back of my head, I knew I have so much further to go, and it scares me. I don't want to undo all the hard work and all that I've accomplished in the past 6 months. I can feel myself slipping, and I'm trying to correct it, and I appreciate all of your help. Mark. Mark, amazing couple emails here, and I'm going to be brief here to you, but I want to tell you a couple quick things. You clearly have found your why, my friend. You're so fed up and you're so tired. That is what you need to focus on. That part of your journey you need to read daily until it no longer is true. You're like many of us. You know, we have every diet in the book, but the one thing I can offer you is that what you've seen is that this journey is absolutely doable. It is. You've seen me do it. You've seen other people do it. There are so many people who have done exactly what you're trying to do that alone needs to let you know that you can do it. I want you to just really dig in on your why. I really want you to focus on your children. I want you to focus on the fact that you're tired of hiding from pictures. Imagine what it's going to feel like, Mark, when Sunday someone takes a picture of you and you say, take another. Not because you didn't like the first 2, because you like them so much that you want more of them. That's where I'm at sometimes. You can do this, and as Yoda would say, do or do not. There is no try. And when you say, you can feel yourself slipping and you're trying to correct it. No, there's no trying, Mark. Do you want this? Mark, do you want this for you Do you want this for your kids? I know you do, Mark. Go get it. Go get it done. So thank you for your email for sure. Ashley writes in and says, hi, FatDag. I wanted to write in for a little while, but I've been putting it off. I love your podcast. I walk 4 to 5 miles every morning while listening to your show, and I hope you're counting those fit points. It really gives me a boost of motivation for the day. I started for the 5th or 6th time, July 2016. As of today, I am down 100.2 pounds. And if you had asked me when I signed up if I think I could lose 100 pounds in 13 months, I would have thought it was impossible. When I signed up, I felt so defeated. I didn't really think I could do it, but I hoped to lose a little. Well, I'm about 22 pounds from a healthy BMI. I'm not sure what my goal weight is because I've actually never been there. Your show helped me find my why. I have lots of little whys, not fitting in an airplane seat and being embarrassed to ask for the belt extender, not going on a ride with my kids because I knew I wouldn't fit. My real why, though, is because I don't want to be like my mom. I love her, but I've seen her struggle my whole life with her weight. She crash dieted my whole life and started me on that same unhealthy path at age 12. She is 70 and still has never maintained a healthy weight. Her health is suffering because of it. She can't play with her kids and her grandkids. I've refused to go down the same path. I want to be healthy for my kids and have energy to play with them and my one-day grandbabies. I want to teach my kids what a healthy lifestyle looks like, something that I was never taught. Thank you again for your podcast. I hope someone finds my story and my loss motivating. Lifetime, I'm coming for you, Ashley. Ashley, 100 pounds. We're going to round out the show with 100-pound weight loss. That is an incredible journey. And I love what you said is that you hoped to just lose a little. Well, hope is not a plan, and you actually put a plan into action. And that plan is what got you to 100 pounds. 22 pounds now from a healthy BMI, and you've now proven that you can get there, and you have a strong why here. The fact that you have been given the gift of your parents and you can see what you don't want to be. And then you have the opportunity to see what the other side of that looks like. Using those two things to balance it, that's what's going to get you to goal. Keeping your kids in mind, saying that, your kids can be taught how to live a healthy, happy lifestyle by someone who means so much to them. That's the greatest gift you can ever give them. Welcome to the 100-pound club. That's an amazing club. It doesn't happen by accident. It was complete focus, complete discipline, complete dedication. You know exactly what you want. You've made a ton of sacrifices along the way. And as a result, you have completely changed your life and you have shown your children a much better way to live. And for that, they will forever be grateful. So I am absolutely celebrating with you. 100 pounds is an amazing accomplishment. I'm going to end episode 100 on that note because I am very, very proud of you. I'm truly honored to walk this journey with you. Keep up the amazing work. Right back in when you get to goal and let's celebrate. Folks, what is it that you're celebrating? Go to FatDag.com, click on listen now, send in your celebrations, your comments, your questions. I'll work them in as part of the show. I want you to email them in because as we share, the entire community benefits, and I want you to be proud of what you're doing. Well, episode 100 is now officially in the books. As we turn the chapter to episode 101, I will continue to walk this journey with you because I believe in you. This journey knows no finish line. Once you get to your finish line of losing weight, you start over in this weight loss mode. As your wingman, I want to walk this journey daily with you because I understand it takes daily focus. Every single day, we need to be reminded. I'm so confident that we need this level of focus and discipline. If I could do this for 24 hours straight, I would, because I understand that it takes just a moment for us to get distracted. And what I hope for you is that by having the app, by having the podcast, you can find some way to remotivate yourself and join us at Lifetime. When you step on the scale for the very last time, in a weight loss mode, there is something absolutely magical about it. It's a feeling I can't describe. It's a feeling I didn't even know existed until I got there. And when you get there, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about, and you will be way better off. You will be happier. I promise you, you're going to love it. Well, that is going to do it for this time. Remember that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus.